Hello and welcome to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Giancarlo Matera reporting from London. We will bring you news reports from the United Kingdom and Europe. On our program today, the UK seeks Europe-wide maritime minimum wage after a P&O debacle. France and Germany get ready as Russia warns to stop gas deliveries. And joining us live today, we have Ariane Celestino. Hello, Ariane.
Hi, Giancarlo. Today I'll be reporting about how a ceramics business from a city renowned for its pottery is gearing up for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you, Ariane. We look forward to that news report. Also from the United Kingdom, a report by Eric Daniel Celestino, Tyree Season, and Joshua Season on the Sushi Bake Challenge. From Italy, the rise in fuel price is a reminder of the period of austerity. This report will be brought to us by Zavina Danielle Balsita. And in Switzerland, we take a walk around Bern, Switzerland's capital city. This report is brought to us by Trina Joyce Asigau. And in sports, Keith Dimabuyu reports on England's World Cup hopefuls as they must fight for places. And our view from our window this week comes from the Athens War Museum. The UK government said Wednesday it wants a minimum wage for maritime workers after the P&O ferry sacked almost 800 seafarers to replace them with cheaper agency workers. Transport Secretary Grant Shapps told Parliament that collaboration was needed as the government looks to manage the fallout from P&O's actions, given maritime law is largely governed by international rules, obligations and treaties. The open letter delivered to DP World Chief Executive Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayyan on Tuesday comes after the firm admitted it had deliberately chosen to ignore its legal obligations to save costs after being hit by the pandemic fallout. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has attacked P&O's move as callous and vowed that his government would take the company to court over the matter. The union letter called for an immediate reinstatement of workers who were sacked via Zoom on March 17 and replaced by cheaper agency staff in a move that sparked angry protests across P&O facilities. The manner in which this has been done appears to be in clear violation of UK labour legislation and international labour standards, a fundamental breach of collective bargaining and an attack on workers' rights, the report said. The letter went on to say that around the world, transport workers and our allies in civil society expect and demand better. Multinational corporations like yours can and should treat workers with dignity and respect their rights under the law. The letter was published after P&O Ferries boss, Peter Heathwaite, last week admitted to British lawmakers that the company had chosen to break UK employment laws. Shapps called on Peter to resign from the company to rehire the workers. However, the P&O chief has insisted that the company will not reverse its decision. Shapps has also ordered inspections of all P&O vessels amid safety fears over the hiring of inexperienced agency staff. British Maritime and Coast Guard agencies has meanwhile detained 2 of P&O's ships, which failed inspections of emergency equipment, crew training and documentation. The group's vessels are the European Causeway, which was held in northern Belfast, and also on Friday, another ship called the Pride of Kent was detained on the port of Dover on the English south coast on Monday. But P&O on Wednesday accused the MCA of arm-length agencies of the Department of Transport of operating with an unprecedented level of rigor over its ships. On Thursday, France and Germany stated that they were preparing for a cut in Russian gas deliveries. This announcement came as Russian President Vladimir Putin warned Moscow it will turn off the taps for those who refuse to pay in rubles. Bruno Le Maire, France's economic minister, said there could be a situation tomorrow in which there is no longer any Russian gas. It's up to us to prepare for these scenarios, and we are preparing. Western countries have been sanctioning Russia after they moved troops into Ukraine. A part of the sanction included the freezing of its $300 billion of foreign currency reserves. While the United States banned the import of Russian oil and gas, the European Union has retained deliveries from Russia. It is important to highlight that in 2021 alone, the EU received around 40% of its gas supplies from Russia. In a statement, Vladimir Putin said that they must open ruble accounts in Russian banks. It is from these accounts that payments will be made for gas deliveries starting tomorrow, April 1st. He additionally warned if such payments are not made, he will consider this a breach of obligations on the part of the buyers with all the ensuing consequences. Russia's Gazprom bank will handle all payments. Olaf Scholz, Germany's chancellor, said on Thursday that Western countries would continue paying for Russian gas in euros or dollars. Payments for gas in rubles are a way of Russia to support its national currency. The Kremlin has also hinted that it may be seeking payments in rubles for other exports too. This move, however, will also deprive Moscow of a source of foreign currency. It's time for a break now, but please come back for some more ENI UK and Europe edition.
Hoy, Mr. Pwede! Masama at bawal ang pag-inom!
Diyan ka na naman sa kakabawal mo, Mr. Bawal eh. Napaka-KJ mo.
Walang magandang dulot ang pag-inom! Lalo na't eleksyon ngayon! Bawal yan!
Ayon sa Omnibus Election Code, ang pagbibenta, pagbili o pag-inom ng alak sa araw ng eleksyon ay isang election offense.
Inggit ka lang. Oye, oye! Pakawalan niyo ako! Hindi na ako uulit!
Hay nako! Nasa uli talaga ang pagsisisi. Don't drink and vote. Ako si Mr. Bawal na nagpapaalala na hindi na nga mabuti ang pag-inom ng alak, tapos sa eleksyon, gagawin mo pa? Bawal yan!
A public service message of Net25 for Mata ng Halalan 2022. Matatag, matapang, matapat.
Muli nating balikan ang unang bugso na may istorya ng pagtulong, tagumpay at pag-agapay sa mga pamilya na ating pong narespondihan. Sabado, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Ito ang Responde, Mata ng Mamamayan.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Jakarta Matera. For more interesting stories from around the UK and Europe this week. Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee has inspired a new range of ceramic collectibles. Ariane Celestino has the details. Hello, Ariane.
Hi, Giancarlo. So yes, in his ceramics workshop, Simon Willis proudly displays the crockery set he has created for Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, dreaming it will end up in the monarch's personal collection. He couldn't miss this opportunity. Let's hear what he thinks about the much-awaited event.
Obviously, living in Stoke-on-Trent, it's where the business started. So we decided that we wanted to do something that was made here, designed here, decorated here, because it's an event which won't ever happen again. We have not the chance of seeing another queen or king on the throne for 70 years, so it's a big deal.
Elizabeth became queen on February 6, 1952, and June will be the focal point of public celebrations to mark her unprecedented 70-year reign. To celebrate the occasion, Goviers has been selling a Platinum Jubilee range of cups and plates with traditionally English flower designs since last July. It became the world center of pottery production in around 1800, prospering for decades before going into sharp decline, with factories closing and relocating to Asia. The 58-year-old owner said that a lot of the manufacturing has gone abroad due to cost of production. He also added that, however, those factories don't produce Jubilee pieces because they see the market is not big enough for them. Willie stumbled into the ceramics industry after studying economics, specializing in the auto industry. Given most of his customers are collectors from Britain, he had no hesitation in creating a new Jubilee line. Selling for between £45 for a small cup and £175 for a large plate, Govier's crockery is not intended to be used as a mere kitchen utensil. Instead, it is meant to be displayed alongside other commemorative ceramics. Souvenirs dedicated to the popular queen, who turns 96 next month, and the wider royal family are typically rolled out to mark every birth, wedding, and celebration. Such souvenirs generated almost £200 million in revenue during the Diamond Jubilee in 2012, with 5 million commemorative cups and ceramics sold, according to the UK Centre for Retail Trade. Goviers is particularly keen to impress one potential customer, Her Majesty, the Queen. That's all from me. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Ariane, for that report. Just a few questions. With Brexit and the pandemic, how will this impact sales of these ceramics and the number of tourists coming here for the Platinum Jubilee celebration?
Well, Giancarlo, there is a large number of tourists expected in this celebration. Goviers expects to sell only a few hundred cups and plates, but its boss hopes his tableware will be remembered. While Giancarlo, for the events planned for the upcoming celebrations, there will be 4 days of public festivities that will begin on Thursday, the 2nd of June, and will continue over the weekend until June the 5th, including a military parade, a large concert, and thousands of street parties around the country. So many are already looking forward to it. That will be everything from me. Over to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you for joining us today, Ariane, and for bringing us this interesting story.
Reporting from the United Kingdom, I am Ariane Celestino. We'll live in interesting times.
It's now time for a sushi bake challenge. And to show us how fun it is, here's a report from Eric Daniel Celestino, Tyree Season, and Joshua Season. Let's go.
Hi everyone! I'm Daniel. I'm Tyree. I'm Joshua. Let's ask them. Are you ready for the sushi bake challenge? Yeah! They only have 30 minutes for this challenge. Let's get started. In 3, 2, 1.
As you can see, this friendly competition is divided into 2 teams, the guys and the girls. Let's see how they're doing.
You do it there. Alright, now let's go put on things.
So So here are the ingredients they're using. So you can do this too with your friends and family.
For the rice mix, 1/3 cup of rice vinegar, 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar. For the rest of the ingredients, you need rice, crab sticks, 2 to 3 spring onions, 3 ounces of cream cheese, 3/4 cup of QP mayo, 2 tablespoons of sriracha, 1 teaspoon wasabi, seaweed, and furikake.
Step 1. Peel and chop the crab sticks and put them into a bowl.
Step 2. Add the following to the chopped crab sticks: cream cheese, QP mayo, sriracha, and wasabi.
Step 3. Cut the spring onions and also put them into the bowl. Step 4. Mix all the ingredients together.
Step 5. Now for the rice mix. Add the rice vinegar, salt, sugar.
Step 6. Pour the rice into the oven-proof dish and spread evenly. Step 7. Sprinkle furikake over the top of the rice. Step 8. Add the sushi bake mix on top of the rice. Step 9. Sprinkle more furikake and add more sriracha and mayo.
Enjoy your sushi bake with some seaweed!
Winners! Put in the oven for 20 minutes.
As we can see, the two teams have done a great job.
Now that both of the teams have put their sushi bake inside the oven, and we are now waiting, let's talk about sushi bake!
Have you heard of dalgona coffee and cereal pancakes? Well, if you have, you might also know that sushi bake is one of the lockdown recipes that went viral and has filled many hearts and stomachs. As you just saw, it's like a deconstructed sushi roll that was split into layers and then baked like a casserole.
Recipes for sushi bake are dated back to 2015. It went viral on social media platforms during the early days of lockdown in 2020, with many videos and pictures coming from the Philippines. It was trending in home, kitchens, and even domestic shops, selling sushi bakes all around Manila. Oh, and another thing, this dish is easier to make than the traditional sushi. No rolling and it's not that messy. It's also more fun because you can share it with your family and friends.
Okay, enough with the trivia. Now it's time to decorate!
Team 2, Team 1, Team 2.
Now that they're done with the decorations, you can truly say that it was a simple recipe to follow. And it's now your turn to make it.
So what now? Are we done? Not yet! Here with us, we have 3 special guests that will be judging the dishes. The team that scores the most points wins the challenge.
The judges will mark them on the presentation of the dish, how good it tastes, teamwork, and even how long it took them to make.
So let's find out the winner of a sushi bake challenge.
So, are you guys ready to know the winner of the Sushi Bake Challenge? The winner goes to Team 1! So here's the winning team, Team 1!
About the outcome of the challenge?
I was really surprised because at first I thought that we might have not have won because we were all just feeling it, but it might not have been that good. But I was surprised to see that we were actually the winning team.
I believe that the end result was quite surprising as well, as, like I said, I am quite proud and happy.
Let's go. Looking back, What was the one thing that your team could have done better to win?
One thing that my team could have done better is if we had a better ratio of ingredients, because our teamwork was great. We had all the supplies, the ingredients. I think it's because amidst all the excitement, we could have, made more effort to make sure that all the ingredients were well balanced. No worries. Overall, what's important is we did our best.
They have finally finished the food challenge. It looks so good. We can't wait to taste them. Once again, I'm Tyrese. I'm Joshua. And I'm Daniel. Until next time.
Thank you guys for that fun challenge. We look forward to more. Now, the crisis in the Ukraine has caused many nations to sanction Russia. It has also led to a rise in the price of fuel, which reminds Italy of a period of austerity from the 70s. Savina Danielle Balsita tells us more. Here's her report.
The war between Russia and Ukraine, along with the sanctions imposed by the EU, are generating economic setbacks, including a rise in fuel and energy prices. This rise in fuel prices is set to mimic a period of austerity, similar to the one felt in the 70s. The word austerity refers to the historic period between 1973 and 1974, when Western countries, Italy included, had to enforce a series of measures to reduce energy consumption. This was due to the oil embargo of 1973 that was imposed by members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or the OPEC. As a response to this crisis, the Italian government implemented a series of measures to save energy, such as vehicle circulation block on Sundays and festivities, like Domenica a Piedi or Sundays on foot, which in turn pushed some people to get creative on how to go about the city. Today, Italy's main concern is to find a way to face inflation already brought about by the pandemic and now the ongoing war. In a survey called Inflation Perceived in Italy, conducted by Il Sole 24 Ore, 2 out of 3 Italians, that's 67% of the population, think that the tensions of war will have a lasting effect on prices, and 86% say that they might encounter a price surge similar to the oil shock in the 70s. According to the survey, those aware of the inflation have been perceiving it ever since January in more commercial areas, especially in comparison to December of the past year. Aside from the health bills, rise in prices is mostly present in energy expenses, gas, heating and electricity, and of course at gas stations. A slight increase in price of produce can also be noticed. From Rome, Italy, I'm Zavina Danielle Balsira. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for bringing us this report, Savina. It's time for another break now, but please come back for some more E&I UK and Europe edition.
Panoorin ang bang-bang na bakbakan ng mga Mobile Legends players na Tara Gamers. Anong prutas ang may scientific name? Bakit?
Karni ko agad yung scientific name.
Bakit si Snap ang naisip mo dyan?
Parang di niya alam kasi lalaki siya eh.
Ngayong Sunday, alas 7 ng gabi sa Net 25.
I stays into her. I don't know how long you'll hide this love, girl. And when the stars align.
Hello mga ka-sound trip, this is Sav. Abangan niyo po ako ngayong Sabado, April 2 sa mga likhaing awit ni Mr. Gabriel Tagantad sa Letters and Music. 1 p.m. dito lang sa Net 25. See you there!
Into her.
Welcome back to E&I UK and Europe edition. Now for some more interesting stories from the UK and Europe this week. We head to Bern now, the capital city of Switzerland. Trina Joyce Esagao makes us discover what the city has to offer. Let's take a look.
As the spring season approaches, it's time for us to go outdoors. In
In Bern, the capital city of Switzerland, you can enjoy various sights just by walking around the city. First stop is the famous landmark called Glocke, or Clock Tower. People gather to watch the clock strike every hour. If you want to know more about this clock, you can book a tour and learn about its history. Second stop, the Parliament Building and the Parliament Square. The Parliament Square is also home to different events throughout the week, such as concerts, markets, sports events, and etc. Bern is also famous for its numerous fountains all around the city. You can also enjoy some good restaurants at every corner or just spend your time sitting beside the Aare River and just be mesmerized by the amazing view. You can end your tour at the Rose Garden Park where you can see the overview of the old town. The park is the perfect spot for a picnic with family and friends. I hope you also get to enjoy these spots on your next visit to Bern. I'm Trina Josasugo from EBC Switzerland. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for showing us around Bern, Trina. We go to our sports news now, where Keith Dimabuyu brings us the latest in football as England eyes the World Cup in Qatar. Let's watch.
England manager Gareth Southgate insists nobody can take their place in his World Cup squad for granted. Southgate's side stepped up their preparations for the World Cup with a 3-0 win over the Ivory Coast in Tuesday's friendly at the Wembley Stadium. He made 10 changes from Saturday's friendly victory over Switzerland to take a closer look at some of the fringe players, hoping to secure a seat on the plane to Qatar in November. Ollie Watkins and Tyrone Mings, both far from certain to make the World Cup squad, boosted their cases with goals against the Ivory Coast. Watkins could serve as an understudy to Harry Kane up front, while Mings is a candidate for central defensive cover. Southgate expects the intense competition for places to fuel the desire of those seeking to make his final squad. They can all get out on it with a fight amongst themselves and will pick the ones that are playing at the best level and who can do the job. Gareth Southgate said, "We're in a fortunate position that we do have good players. You can motivate players as a manager, but there's no higher motivation than 2 more on the bench that can come and take your place." England will discover their World Cup group stage opponents on Friday when the draw is made in Doha. Southgate guided England to the World Cup semi-finals 4 years ago in 2018 in Russia, and then suffered a penalty shootout defeat against Italy in the European Championships final last year. He acknowledges those recent near misses have raised expectations. Reporting for Sport for E&I am Keith Dimabuyu from the UK, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you for bringing us the sports update, Keith. In today's view from our window, we take a look at Athens War Museum. The museum is located at the center of Athens, and it opened its doors in 1975. The museum aims to give a view of the Greeks' fight along history. The exhibits that spread over 10 rooms. They cover Greek history from the prehistoric period to the Second World War. The museum also hosts a well-organized library, an amphitheater for lectures, and a conference room. The War Museum is open from Tuesday to Saturday morning, and the admission is free. Thank you so much for sharing this view with us from EBC Greece. And that's it for today's program. Stay safe and keep positive as we bring you more stories next week from the United Kingdom and Europe. I'm Jakarta Matera. We live in interesting times.